Hey guys, Lassie V here and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video is all about voter registration. Yung process nun, yung requirements, and some reminders na kailangan mong malaman before you register. So before we start, I would just like to say some few reasons why do you need to vote. So first of all, it is your right. As a Filipino, you have the right to vote. Gamitin mo yan bilang isang Filipino. Ayan. Kung gusto mong magkaroon ng ambag sa lipunan, bumoto ka. So second, it is your consent. It is your choice. So voting is like a consent. When you vote for a leader, you give them your yes. You give them a consent na yes, you can serve this country and you have this power to serve this country. Pumapayag ka na sila yung magpapatakbo ng LGU or ng bansa natin. And it is your choice kung sino sa kanila. You have the freedom kung sino yung pipiliin mo. Kaya, be wise. Choosing a bad leader is the last thing we want to do. So lastly, kung hindi ka pa rin convinced, if you care about your future, you should care about who your leader is. As I said, choosing the bad leader is the last thing we want to do. Sabi nga na iba, good citizen means a good leader. With that, voting is the first step to be a good citizen. And a good citizen, they choose the right leader. So without further ado, let's get started. So, ayun, ngayon, for the qualifications. On or before May 9, 2022, kailangan you should be at least 18 years old. Kung 18 ka na ngayong taon, 19 ka na for the next year, and you're eligible to vote. Ngayon, kasi 17 ka na ngayon, but you're 18 on or before May 9, 2022, magpa-register ka na kasi pwede ka na bumoto by that time. Second, you should be a resident of the Philippines for at least 1 year. Ibig sabihin, kailangan nakatira ka dito sa Pilipinas ng at least isang taon. And for the LGU, kailangan at least 6 months naka-reside ka doon. And third, you're qualified if you're not disqualified by the law. With that, you'll be disqualified by a certain reason. So, I'll post the pic somewhere here. So, ayun, yun yung reasons kung bakit hindi ka magiging qualified to be a voter. Ngayon, if you are 18 years old on or before May 9 and you're here in the Philippines your whole life, magparehistro ka na. Now that you know if you're qualified or not, here's the document requirements that you'll be needing. First is any valid ID that you have. If you have a valid ID, preferably if you have a government-issued ID like passport, postal ID, SSS, GSIS, driver's license, any other ID that is issued by the government, accepted yan. Ngayon, if wala kang government-issued ID, make sure that you have a valid ID that has your name and your picture or signature. School ID or employee ID will do. So in my case, in my experience, I brought my school ID and accepted naman siya. Second is birth certificate. Ngayon, may mga nakikita akong rant on the internet na hindi naman daw sinabi yon sa website nila or something. And tinignan ko rin siya before I filmed this video and wala nga siya doon. But when I registered last year, yata ako nag-register. Anyway, basta nung nag-register ako, nakita ko na kailangan ng birth certificate. And in my experience, kailangan talaga siya. Bring a birth certificate kasi kailangan siya. So third, this is optional kasi binibigay daw siya sa satellite offices kapag nagpe-register ka, but you can print your own as well. And so yung form CEF1. If you want to print your own, it is available on their website and I'll put it in the description box below para makita nyo na din and ma-download nyo na din if you want to fill up your own. Now that you have the requirements and everything, here's the process na kailangan mong tandaan. So, yung process naman, once you have the complete requirements, they'll give you the instructions there. Before you go to the satellite office, make sure that you have the photocopy of your valid ID and your birth certificate. I can remember kung ilan yung kinailangan ko at the time na nagpa-register ako, but just make sure na you have at least 3 copies of that. Also, know their schedule. I think it varies on every location yung schedule ng voters registration, and yung iba may limit din ata if I'm not mistaken. So, depende sa lugar nyo if ECQ kayo, MECQ, GCQ, or whatever quarantine that you have. Every location has different protocols, so make sure that you know those protocols, okay? Sa office, as I said kanina, once you submit the form, they'll give you the instructions. May nakalagay naman doon, hopefully when you go there, may nakalagay naman doon na step 1, step 2, step 3, and so I'll give you a few reminders. To bring a black pen if you do not want to borrow a pen kasi nga interaction with other people. If you want to have a less interaction from other people, bring your own pen. Black pen, okay? And of course, when you write legibly. Second, if the CEF1 form is printed by you, make sure that it's printed on 8x13 paper. All required fields are answered. You can answer the form on Adobe Acrobat Reader, but if you do not want to answer there, kung wala ka nun, you can just write as well. Pero dun kasi sa Adobe Acrobat Reader, nakalagay na din doon kung ano yung mga kailangan mong i-fill up. Also, yung thumb mark, kasi may nakalagay doon na kailangan mo ilagay yung left and right thumb mark mo, hindi mo muna siya ilalagay. You'll put your thumb mark prints on the office na kapag nagpa-register ka. And I guess that's it. Please comment below if there are things that I overlooked and I forgot. And if you're someone na magpapa-register pa lang, please do not hesitate to comment below if you have any questions that you need to be answered. And I'll try to answer it as much as possible. So, ayun, thank you for watching this video. And I hope that you have learned what you need to know. Share this video sa mga friends nyo na magpapa-register or mga friends nyo hindi alam paano magpa-register. So subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos, and I hope that I'll see you on my next one. Magparehistro ka, spread love, paalam!